Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, we got the T-1000 trailer for Mortal Kombat 1, also kind of doubling as the Madam Bo trailer. T-1000, our latest guest characters coming out, but also with this patch is Madam Bo, our latest cameo, and like T-1000 is really well done and all that, but she's also stealing the show just a little bit. Like when we get to the whole breakdown part, we're going to get into it. But it makes me wish she was just there from the start because it's really, really well done. Now, the T-1000 himself, based off Robert Patrick, also voiced by Robert Patrick, and the quality is, well, as you would expect, just like Ghostface, just like Conan, quality is very, very high and comes with a very, very inventive moveset. Definitely kind of has that premium, you know, it is premium because it's a DLC character, right? But it has that premium feel. Regardless of your feelings on guest characters in general, Mortal Kombat always treats the guest characters like gold, and this is just very well done. So that said, let's just rewind a little bit here, and let's break down the trailer. So first thing I just want to highlight is actually Madam Bo. So you can see her as your cameo, she's just kind of sweeping, you know, getting the job done here. Just casually rocking the ciggies here, does not care about anything that just happened. And I feel that's very with the character. Just in the too old to care anymore phase. And trust me, I'm getting older myself. Hey, I get it. I really do. So we start off here with the iconic finger wag. This is T-1000. There's going to be lots of references. For the younger folks watching, Terminator 2 was sort of a big deal back in the day. And as we cut into gameplay, the gameplay of T-1000 is very, very interesting. First off, he basically goes full Baraka, just swinging the liquid metal blades at Shang Tsung, and now that. So he sinks low to the ground here and creates a giant projectile spike that hits the opponent. And this looks cool as hell, but yo, like gameplay ramifications, this means he's going to be a really strong counter zoner, because he's very obviously lowering his profile while doing the move, which means the average projectile is going to go clear over his head while he hits you on the other side of things. So that in and of itself is good, combined with our next feature that he can just turn into a big puddle and go across the entire ground at will. So he's basically not going to be interacting with any projectiles that he doesn't really care to interact with. So counter zoner for sure. And from there, we catch Shang Tsung in a string here. We get the launcher and we use that same projectile we saw to relaunch, and it did have a different distance. The spike is also angled differently from before, as it's inwards rather than outwards, so it might be one of those deals where it's the aimable kind of projectile. From here, we see that puddle stance again, and you can do moves out of it, as you can see here. Forming liquid metal spikes, which pop Shang Tsung, and also an ambush cameo by Madam Bo, and she just whips like a bottle of whiskey at your head or something, and that's enough to keep the juggle going, and that's a really cool projectile, by the way. So then we have launch into recombo, and he can use Cabal's hook swords. Liquid metal, why not? He can do anything, I guess. And we go directly into his back throw, which is kind of unsettling. Just sort of phases through you to hit you on the other side. Like, that's perfect for him. Absolutely just looks a little creepy, but I guess in a good way. So next up, we got the finger poke of doom. No, not that one. The one where he extends his finger and big ol' stabby. And it comes with like a hit grab, and it's pretty vicious as he just unloads on you. Big fan. And then we get another Madam Bo ambush call here, and she's just serving you some refreshments. Like you can see here, T-1000 just takes a swig. You'd have to assume it's some kind of buff, like maybe a damage buff, a meter buff, maybe it gives you meter, maybe it gives you health, I don't know, but it's very interesting. And given that she's the restaurant owner, also quite thematic, and frankly, it just looks plain cool. So, after our on-duty officer accepts alcohol on the job, he immediately, after getting drunk, unloads his pistol on the nearest bystander, I guess. An enhanced running shot, which goes into a hit grab, tossing Johnny on the other end. And now here's more really cool stuff. So he has a stance where he just turns into a tank, just full liquid metal form. You hit me, no big deal. I'm literally just laughing it off. And then from there, perhaps a command grab and stance, and just water blob dunks you on the other side. And that's really cool. Next, we go into a string starter, and then we see this. I don't know if this is like a run cancel or like something. We're burning bar. You see the flash here, and he goes into what looks to be more regular stream. So something burn bar, get more stuff going on into, well, getting destroyed. And then here, just a lot more examples of, I can tell they're having a lot of fun with these characters. So Madam Bo slides in. This is not the normal summon call, right? Not taking a pose and the cameo does the thing. This is definitely unique to Madam Bo, just T-1000 jumping as she slides over. And then, well, T-1000 is hitting you with the Wrath Hammer, Shao Kahn's iconic hammer. Shao got turned into an axe user in MK1, which I never really loved, to be honest with you, but whatever. But the hammer finally makes its MK1 appearance here. I love the hammer. I love Wrath Hammer, so cool. And everything about this is cool. So she has unique summon calls, and I have to assume the big old hammer has to be an overhead. At least it's overhead coated, or at least plus on block, right? But hey, speaking of overhead coated, this very telegraphed bop into a ground bounce, that has to be an overhead, right? So we go into strings, we go into puddle stance, more spikes as we saw before, and now we see the cameo throw. And here's Madam Bo, just not giving an F. Smashes you in the face with 2 big bottles of alcohol, and then uses your face to light out her cigarette while you're drenched. If she's not a character in the next Mortal Kombat game, it's going to be a big loss. She's dripping with character and personality, and we're long overdue for like any lady character in any fighting game to look older than 25 years old, to be frank. I'm here for cool, grumpy grandma is basically what I'm trying to say here. She is absolutely savage. And now from here, we go to a very interesting quandary, I guess you could say. And that's this uppercut. So, this is like very clearly the Glacius uppercut from Killer Instinct. Like, there's no doubt about it, and that's fine, right? Fighting games reference other fighting games all the time. And Glacius himself, in a lot of ways, was a reference to the T-1000. So is it really ripping someone off if you're the inspiration for them and they're the ripoff to begin with? I guess that's an argument for the scholars. I did get into it once when Conan came out with one individual who was telling me that Conan ripped off Tusk from Killer Instinct. And, well, the comment section is really fun, guys. Like, being a YouTuber is something else. Anyways, so from the uppercut launcher, we can recombo. We can see here EX Cabal Hook Swords also juggles. We get an air bounce, and then we splat him to the ground. Then there's this fun piece of business. So he just turns into a big old liquid metal blob, and also, in the process of, changes his jump arc. So changing your regular jump arc in fighting games is always an incredibly powerful thing. Usually it's some form of dive kick. So I don't know if you want to call this big blob like a dive kick or a dive blob or something. But changing your jump arc's always strong. So this is probably going to be a pretty alright move. Going from there, we're going to recombo. We're going to call in Madam Bo with the summon call that we saw earlier. But this time, turns out we can enhance it. And from the enhance, it creates a combo OK state. And you can see both T-1000 and Madam Bo are just going absolutely berserk on Melina here. Just tearing her to pieces. And then, speaking of that, T-1000 looks like he has a command grab. And while he's holding you down, or holding your arms up rather, he just grows a third arm and then just stabs you through the head. Like, in the context here, T-1000 only holds a human form for infiltration purposes. It can like do anything it really wants. It can grow all the arms in the world, really. And you just know this is definitely going to be one of the specials that's going to have a brutality attached to it because it's vicious. So going from that here, we see that T-1000 is using more liquid metal weapons. We got a big staff. And then we see that armored walk stance again, except this time, oh no, what happened there? So it looks like it has either a hit or a damage limit. So you can see here Shang hits him 3 times, and then on the third hit, that T-1000 just literally falls apart. So it's an armored stance. You can definitely catch people hitting buttons, but if they do too much damage or have too many hits, they will still go through the stance. So that's very interesting gameplay-wise. And very fitting for the character. He just reforms, right? He falls apart, he reforms. It's the T-1000, it's liquid metal, it's cool as hell. And we see more Madam Bo stuff here, more unique cameo summon calls. I believe Bo Raicho had these kicks in Mortal Kombat X, and it was enhanced as well. And we got the big old body slam, big bounce, and then, well, more combos. So EX hook blades, bounces, more air combos into a ground bounce. Then we see the big blob again. This is enhanced though. And then from there we go into the uppercut. So either it just automatically goes into the uppercut or it's special cancelable in and of itself. And then we're going to go into Fatal Blow after this. And here, again, Madam Bo is stealing the show. No guns, no magic. Grabs you by the ear, takes off her shoe, and beats the holy hell out of you with her shoe. Like, you have to make her a character in the next game, please. Maybe not a lot of physical damage, but a lot of mental damage, but T-1000 has the physical damage on deck. Don't worry about that. Hits him with the Arnold slaying spike, just like in Terminator 2. And as for the fatality, well, this is the YouTube game. Go watch the trailer proper if you want to see it. It's suitably gruesome and grody, and can't really show it here because that's just how that works. Anyways, overall, I'm very impressed. Like, once again, Madam Bo and T-1000, I can tell they put a lot of work in these characters, a lot of love. Like, the references are there, everything about the character you would think is there. It's just good. And in a way, it's kind of sad, because is this it? As you probably are very, very well aware, there's been the rumor mill going around that Warner basically cut the funding for Mortal Kombat 1, cut it short, and what we're seeing here is the rest we're gonna get. As in, there's no more content for Mortal Kombat 1. Like, there might be another cameo or two that are waiting in the wings because they've already been finished. But as far as, like, major content updates, that's it. And again, there could be another balance patch or two as well, because even though the balance patches have been amazing lately, like the last year, they've been really doing very well. I don't know how many more there's going to be, because this might be it. And then we move on to Injustice 3 or whatever's next, probably Injustice 3. And it's just kind of sad in a way. Like, Mortal Kombat 1 definitely, as a Mortal Kombat fan, I'll say this, shakier start, right? But it's definitely been finding its legs over time, and it just sucks. Like, I want every fighting game to maximize its potential, and due to things outside of NRS's control, because they don't get to call the shots, Warner Brothers does, right? It looks like Mortal Kombat 1 might not be able to fulfill its destiny. Specifically that of being the game that gets more than 2 years of support, which Ed Boon said at the start it was going to be, but in reality, it's not his call to make. It's Warner Brothers' call. All I can say is hoping for the best. I would love to see more content out of Mortal Kombat 1. If this is it, Madam Bo and T-1000, I guess, is a pretty strong way to go out. They both come out March 18th, I believe, so look forward to more coverage on that on the channel the day it happens. And I don't know, I just hope for the best for NRS in general and all the talented employees there, because they put a lot of love into this stuff, and I just want them to be able to do their craft as much as possible. Warner Brothers is not an amazing company to be under. But anyways, my friends, that is the video. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Mortal Kombat.